Hello everyone, Happy New Year! This one is going to be starting off the year right, as we're going to be talking about and recommending great resources for you to start off your year developing and growing. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing on and making the games that you all love. You're joining me, your host, Max Pears. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you, whether you listen to this morning, day, evening, or night. I hope that you are all well and your loved ones are safe. So thank you very much for joining me, your host, Max Pears. Absolute pleasure, and I hope your New Year's and Christmas was fantastic. You got to spend it with your loved ones, got some cool gifts, and overall had a great time. And also had some good food. That's what it's about to me, getting food, getting fat, which is probably not the way to go. But enough about my waistline increasing. What we want to be increasing instead is your brain with the knowledge that we've been passing on here. For those of you who are new or just joining us, that means that you may not be aware of this concept. This is the Essential Reading episodes. These are the Essential Reading episodes where I recommend to you some of the, reading materials that I have come across through my kind of journey through on the interwebs and seeing some really cool, like fascinating articles, videos, podcasts, all of these that I intend to share with you, and just so we can help, because I do not know everything. We've got incredible brothers and sisters working in this industry, making it even better. So I want to share a few with them. Oh, sorry, I should say this. All of these will be linked in the description down below. So if you do want to go check them out, that's where you can find them, okay? But before we go on, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by none other than Gamedevtv. For those of you who don't know, they are a phenomenal resource which helps you who may not have any experience to those looking to grow and improve their experience and knowledge on game dev related tools, whether that be programming, design, or art. All of these you can find on their website. And not only are they a great resource, but they've teamed up with myself to give you a phenomenal discount. If you go on and follow through the links that I've got down below, which give you a range of courses, you'll find that there is amazing discounts of over 80%. Normally a course costs around about £200, but luckily with the codes that we've got, and should I say the links down below, you'll get them for what would be about 40 to 50 bucks, around that benchmark. So if you're looking to go for it, this is a great place to start your learning. I personally am going through the Unity Beginners 3D C# course myself, and I'm really enjoying it with great tutors like Rick and Sam, which have previously been on this podcast as well. So if you're looking to improve your skills, head no further than Gamedevtv. All of the links to the great courses will be down in the description below. Now back to the episode. So the very first one is called The Engagement Game: Why Your Workplace Culture Should Look More Like a Video Game. This here is by Jamie Madigan. Some of you may recognize the name, because Jamie is a podcaster as well as a psychologist. He is the host of Psychology of Video Games podcast, which if you haven't listened to, do go check it out. It's one of my personal favorites, and one that I really do enjoy. I've been on Jamie's show to talk about that of level design, how psychology affects us, what are we trying to craft and create, and how it can have an impact on leading and dictating on how players move through your levels. So I really do recommend checking out the podcast, but the book itself is fantastic. I've just actually finished it about a couple of hours ago of recording this episode. And what I loved about this is a lot of people who are listening to the show aim to be leads one day, so leads or directors of game companies, right? Which is perfectly fine. The big kind of secret, I guess, that no one really says or talks about, or the dirty secret, is that when you're a lead, you don't create anymore. You're not making the levels. It's your job to facilitate. Obviously, you're helping guiding what makes a good level, but it's really your job to help facilitate the team, guide them, work with them to make sure that they're producing their best work, right? And that management, people skills are so very different from that of actually building levels. You spend most of your career before getting into being in a lead role, ranging from 5 to 10 years roughly, and you don't you're not used to it. It's a real can be a fish out of water situation. But in this book, he really takes the time to explain how, well, we as designers, and especially game developers, have been teaching and communicating with players for years on how to actually improve them, and the techniques we use to guide players and help them grow through the experiences we create can actually be applicable to that of your own team as well. And it's got some great examples. I really don't want to spoil it. The last chapter about kind of work culture and team culture is very, very important. And those of you who want to move into those positions, I strongly recommend this book. It opened up my mind. So if I one day ever am a lead, I will make sure that this book is on my desk so I can constantly refer back to it. So yes, do check out that one. Let's go on to number 2. This is an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto, the obviously legendary designer behind Nintendo. But it's him with an interview with the New Yorker talking about the new Nintendo land that we're going to see in Japan, but also talking about that of how he's designed games and how he's kind of designing this new park out in Japan. So I recommend checking it out. It has some incredible, like really truthfully incredible points of how he designs. He talks about designing with care, in a sense of like how we should care, use that passion. You know, when we think about games, obviously there is violence to them. I'm not saying violence is inherently leading to bad things like some people might say, but you see his work is very different to the traditional, especially within Nintendo. As I said, it more takes on the role of the park, but there is some great design notes in there. So really go check that out. He obviously has such a fascinating mind, has been one of the most iconic, I guess, developers for his entire career for the most part. And yeah, so if you really want to see and understand more about how he thinks, the world that he kind of puts into play and how he designs, I strongly recommend checking this out. So yeah, come take a look for sure. Okay, the third one then is none other than by one of the good friends of this show, which is Julius, who has been killing it with the articles recently. I've recommended his articles and other ones, but for this one we'll be talking about outpost design, gating and layering. Talking about that, as most of you know, or in case you don't, Julius is really knowledgeable on open world events and open world kind of design. I honestly think he's one of the few that has taken the time to really kind of specialize in this. What I mean is we talk about open world design, generally 360 approach, all of this, he'll break that down further in his article. But how this actually is different to how most of us think about designing, because most of our portfolio pieces, or what I've seen thus far, tends to be more of that of linear games, right? That is because it's something we all like, whether it be a Naughty Dog kind of experience, these things. But he really has focused on how you can actually switch your design. And I'll say this, especially as someone who came from Ubisoft, as did he. The thing is you will, as a junior, will be more entrusted to that of open world events than you will to a main mission to start with. It's not till you've proven yourself, you've got a few more years experience, that these big events will be shared with you. Because open world, there's not as many resources. I talk about that. I'll leave a link to also one of the videos I did on the difference between open world and linear design. But his about designing, gating, layering, options that you have, what you can kind of think about, how you should spread the rewards as well as challenges. All brilliant stuff. I love chatting with the guy. We've actually just been talking about open world design for it almost feels like 2 to 3 days recently. He'll be coming on the show as well. And yes, go check it out. I really do enjoy this one very much.
At Level Design Lobby, we believe everybody has a story to tell. Hobbyist or student, freelancer or veteran, we made it our mission to unite those who share our passion for creating and developing great games. Thanks to our generous Patreon backers, we've been able to do just that. So if you've already pledged your support, thank you. If not, you too can ensure the future of Level Design Lobby helping us to create even more exciting content, collaborations, interviews, and much more. With awesome perks and rewards, whether you're a seasoned professional or just getting started, you're sure to find something for you. Want to share tips, tricks, and advice with passionate, like-minded developers? Our awesome community Discord has you covered. Fancy practicing your level design, creating strong portfolio content, and having fun? Then try our level design weekends. Or perhaps you want to individually discuss your work, hone your skills, or level up your career? Then consider our one-on-one mentorships. If you share our vision, then go to patreon.com/level design lobby for more information and to pledge your support. Thank you.
Number 4, we are just rattling through all of this great stuff. But the number 4 has to go to the last 2 actually are new channels. But the first one belongs to that of Steve Lee. Steve Lee is a great level designer. Some of you may have actually seen his talks on GDC. Very well known, worked on incredible games such as Dishonored, Bioshock, and much, much more. But he's kind of coming at this in a bit more of a, more looking at how to help people get into the industry. What is it? His video that I'm going to link is about breaking down his first portfolio piece and why he believes that got him his first role in the industry. So that there, I think, is something that you should definitely all check out if you're aspiring LD. There's so much more to it. His channel has just started. I think he's got about 4 to 5 videos just right now, but it is one to follow, keep an eye open for, and much more. So I really do, really say worth checking it out, guys, because his knowledge, he's such a well-known level designer, very experienced, understands, so much about the overall industry. So go check him out. And a very nice guy. I've had a drink with him 2 years ago. Very nice, very polite man. So really go check it out. And the final one, I think I gave this a shout out last month, but I really want to give it again because the first video is now out, and that is Creative XP. This is done by Stuart Scott. It's his channel. Those of you who've been listening to me for a while, I think he was episode 12 where we talked about procedural design. And Stu has been like a big brother to me back when I worked at Ubisoft, a designer that I respect absolutely and hold him in high regards. And he's doing similar kind of things, breaking down game design, level design techniques. And he's first talking about his kind of design of a Unreal Tournament level and talking about his process. There's some stuff there that I personally don't do, and that doesn't mean that it's wrong at all. This is what I'm saying. The reason I bring that up is because it's great. The fact that he is choosing to share different things that I didn't realize about, and especially these things called his kind of spaghetti design, you'll see it in there. I think that's great because he talks about doing an Unreal Tournament, which is multiplayer. I have never designed an actual multiplayer map, but that to me is a very useful tool. So do go check that one out. It is one that I really do enjoy and always enjoy Stu's company. Now, this is where we will start to wrap this up. Now, before you go, I do recommend checking out the last end of year episode where I talk about some of the best designs that I saw in 2020. So if you haven't listened to that, do go check it out because there's so much to learn. Despite it being not a great year in terms of design, there's been a few that kind of broke out, stole my eye, and made me think if we want to progress as an industry, these could be great examples to help push us moving forward. If you do want to reach out and get in contact with me, maybe share some reading materials that you've learned from and you think that would be beneficial to the rest of the gurus, please do contact me. You can get in touch through Twitter, which is @MaxPairs. You can email into the show, leveldesignlobby@gmail.com. And finally, if you want to support the show and help make sure that we keep getting better, please do head over to patreon.com/leveldesignlobby. Thank you all very much. Take care, and I'll speak to you all very soon.